And coming up in this episode.
So you were introduced to this financial consultancy via the experience you had from an expert who's already in this field already doing it.
You're buying everything on Ratenzahlung. It's easier, but it spoils your SCHUFA.
Really?
It spoils your SCHUFA. If they see you couldn't pay 200 for an item, you had to go for 20 euro rate, then what does it say? But accidents can also lead to great financial problems.
Yeah.
They are so great that you can now hate being even in Germany when you realize the health insurance cannot take care of.
This is the real life experiences of immigrants in the diaspora. Welcome to the BO podcast. And I am your host, Becky Onyango. And today we have a very special guest who is going to share the experience living abroad. Stay tuned.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the BO podcast. I am your host, Becky Onyango, and thank you so much for tuning in for today's episode. So we have a very special guest today with us, and this is Edith, and she's just going to take us through her journey of coming all the way from Kenya to Germany and being a financial consultant and opening her own business in Germany. So hopefully we can learn one or two things and be enlightened on what kind of opportunities there are. So thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
Yeah?
You're welcome.
Okay, so take us through your entrepreneurial journey of opening up your own company, working as partners with
Deutsche Vermögensberatung, DVAG.
DVAG.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, take us through opening up your own business, the kind of financial consultancy services that you offer, and what kind of products can you advise, especially Africans who are living in Germany, or just generally migrants living in Germany, some of the go-to products that you must have, just so that you can have that peace of mind while you're living in this country.
Yeah. So the process is that I had to show when they are sponsoring, like I would say, they'll sponsor you to do the school, the classes, but you have to show interest.
Yeah.
Then in order to show the interest, you're working. They're seeing how your performance are. Your clients you're building up clients. The volumes you're taking care of. So the more you're doing that, the more they are ready to also put their money and sponsor you. So when I decided, and when you decide now to do the Deutsche Vermögensberatung as it is, you register now a company. And in registering your company, you're having the entity of the company and yourself. So, and you end up now having to handle your own taxes, having to see where are my gains, where are my losses. The first 3 years, the organization is very supportive. It gives you a boost, like 500 every month. And they give you also a condition you can continue getting the 500. Now at the moment they've put it 1,000. God side down. Sorry.
At least they've increased it.
They've increased it. And they give just a boost. They like this. They tell you, you show us. You can't gain when not working. That is, if you have a business and you're not doing something for it, there's nowhere you're going to gain anything. So you work something and they are supportive. They give you something on top. One thing I came to realize, I entered into a good organization. I'm not just praising it. I myself feel it. Because there's nobody telling me, you are a woman. There's nobody telling me you are black. There's nobody telling me, no discrimination. You're free to work your way up. Get your money, the money you aim at. You just to work for it.
Yeah, that's one thing that I definitely appreciate about the corporate culture in Germany, in terms of there's no micromanagement. It's all about your work speaks for itself.
That's it.
The harder and smarter you work, the more you're able to bring in results, the more respect you get to earn in the process. So it's all about how much work you put into it.
Yeah.
So, it depends with how you want to label it. Maybe if you're not performing well, or you might, come across maybe bosses who are not fair, yes.
Yes.
But as long as you're performing well and doing your work speaks for it.
That's
for
true.
yourself.
That's very true. And that's what has led me to feel like I'm in the right place.
Yes.
Like this is
Getting that
where
appreciation, yeah.
I can be whatever I want to be if I really, really want it. And in the development, in the going on the process, I also realized one thing. I entered into a sector which was dealing with the German culture, with not integrated and all that, like no Ausländer, we call it Ausländer,
Yeah,
the foreigners,
Yeah.
not too much to deal with the foreigners. And the passion I have is now to give out and show the foreigners you can also have your place here, because some of my colleagues have never dealt with foreigners. So you come, they don't know the difference. They don't know anything that is fitting or not fitting. There's something that goes also with cultural differences, which I came to realize during my visits by clients. I'm like, okay, I understand. But someone else will not understand. You tell me you want to build your mama a house in Kenya, and the person will like, why do you want to build your mama a house?
Yeah.
For me, I was like, okay, that's our culture. We want to do something. And then that's your goal. Let's put down the way on how to do that. And that's how I grew up more into the business. And seeing the different products we have. We have we have the bank products. That means the opening of accounts. What type of accounts? They could be a normal Giro account, and that could be maybe an investment account. They'll go on different. And maybe someone has a credit. The issue of credit, I find it very important. Of late, I've been doing a project of cleaning up credit and helping people merge their credits or even get out of dangerous credits.
So speaking of credit, because there was this topic that came up the other day about SCHUFA scores, right?
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, SCHUFA scores is basically they put you on a credit score rating depending on your ability of paying your bills on time, or if you take up a loan from a bank, how often you pay back, and just basically what your default rate is. Is it at 0, or are you somebody who's high risk, who's always defaulting? So you're based on that, you're rated on that SCHUFA score ranking. And that SCHUFA score is a big deal in Germany, because when you come in as a student, the moment you are registered in the system, you go do your Anmeldung registration, then the moment you go take up any contract, let's say phone contract with Vodafone, or you go and take a contract with the gym, any sort of contract where you have to pay, or even go and buy a phone via contract, how you pay up would be able to place you on a ranking. And with that score, it would be very important in terms of looking for a house. A lot of landlords in Germany,
they use that.
Always use the SCHUFA score to, see whether you're somebody who will be paying your rent on time. So which means if your SCHUFA score is bad, pretty much forget about looking for a house. So it's very important for you to always work on your credit score rating. Another thing also, maybe if you want a loan from the bank, they also look at the SCHUFA score. If you want to go and buy an electronic or a car on credit, they look at. So the score is really,
very
really
important.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So the project I'm doing right now is that of helping people get out of the bad credits.
Yeah. But how do you do that?
Because in cooperation with the banks, there's something, you come with the different credits. I help put it together, send the contract, the antrag, the request, usually the application to the banks. They accept it, they give a condition, we make a plan. That's where it's a different when the client goes to the bank and when the client goes through me. It's because I'm going to help you get the credit and also make with you the plan on how to pay off the credit or get on a better position to build up some of your assets.
So basically you'd help somebody improve their score that they can be at a good standing with the bank.
Yeah, because the score is not only about paying off, they also look, what's your worth? So you don't have any sort of savings, but you have only credits. they are so definitely sure, then next time you have an emergency, you might not able to pay any of them.
So when they look at your savings, that means they have access to
Every account.
to your bank account and all that. They can see how much you have in the account.
The SCHUFA score knows where your account is.
Oh, wow. So your SCHUFA score rating also kind of is tied to how much you have in your account.
Not only how much you have, like everywhere you're putting your ID, it's you're in Germany, and everything you're doing transaction dealing with money, you have to do your Steuer ID.
Wow. Okay.
So Steuer ID is put mostly where there's something to do with money.
Yeah.
So
Steuer ID is tax ID. In this
tax
case.
ID, yeah. So everywhere you're putting your tax ID, you get to have you're registered in.
Okay.
So if there is some place where like accounts, the reason why it's seen in the SCHUFA, if anyone wants to know exactly what's in the SCHUFA, don't just go for the normal 1 year free SCHUFA. Pay some 30 euros and get the detailed SCHUFA.
Okay.
You get everything, who was seen, who was checked when, what is inside there, which accounts, like savings, normal savings without getting out. Like if there's, let's say, Tagesgeld konto, it might not appear because it's just, you cannot get a credit from there.
So Tagesgeld konto is like daily or current account, yeah?
Not current account.
Or
It's like a
transactional
saving. It doesn't, you just save and get money. You just
Okay.
save, you don't get a chance of getting.
Or you don't withdraw money from that account.
You can, Tagesgeld konto, you're saving it, but you cannot get more than what you have saved. So there's no way you're going to get on minus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So when you get the details, it shows you where you're standing. You might end up having money. You might be earning a lot, but it does not help if your SCHUFA is bad.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I get to help my clients get their credit or put all the credit, one thing we don't realize, many people go for Klarna. You're buying everything on Ratenzahlung. It's easier, but it spoils your SCHUFA.
Really?
It spoils your SCHUFA. If they see you couldn't pay 200 for an item, you had to go for 20 euro rate, then what does it say?
Oh, really? Yeah,
So-
so they say that, okay. Yeah, makes
So
sense.
such things,
But what if you pay, even if you're paying it in installments, but you're always paying on time?
you're always paying on time. You have not only one thing, let's say. They see the SCHUFA, people who have written there. So they're saying you're having this on Raten, 10 articles on Raten. Some things are running on 200. For 200 euros, you had to put for 10% every month, 10 euros every month. The other one is for 500. The more entities, the more unstable you are.
Yeah. So it just kind of depicts your
Financial
activities.
management.
Yeah,
So-
management, yeah.
So
Okay.
that's what I also try in this credit issue, that you have different credits, put it in one. At least there's one entity. And on the other side, you will notice once you have one entity, there's some reduction in what you're paying. Because you're not going to pay 500 for one credit and the other 300. You'll end up maybe paying 500. And on the other side, you can save the 300 in order to avoid getting another credit at some later time.
Okay.
So that is also credit management.
Okay.
So that's under the account, that's bank tema. When we talk about banks, so some of the products is not only the accounts, we have the investment. Those who are interested in doing investment, letting money work for you. Some can make it on ETFs, some cannot make it on ETF. ETF means you're running the buying and selling of funds and bonds yourself. And you're not active, then you lose it. If you want it to be managed, I definitely go for managed
because
one. I don't want to.
Normally with managing ETFs and probably your your career field or your experiences in something else, you don't have time to keep on
I
checking
can't.
the rates. So you
Much as
definitely-
I know the facts, I let mine be taken care of.
right,
And,
you have to hand it over to the expert.
the
to take care of.
manager, like when you have the depots and there's you're doing the fund managed funds, managed actions. I do the managed one. I don't even offer ETF services to anyone because it has to be the person himself to do that, not me.
Okay.
So I only offer the managed ones because at the end of it, on the other side, you still have the effect of seeing. If you're seeing it's changing and saying, okay, I want to change it, you can change it. You have the ability to change it. But at least there's someone managing. Someone is going to alert you when something is coming out, saying, okay, this fund has gone to a risky. So risky meaning you can earn a lot or you can lose a lot. So someone consulting you on such things
I remember
makes it even better.
Yeah, there's this short story about me and my friend Hilaria. We had put our money in some financial investment firm, so and so, but the guys, the money was, when you look at the dashboard, the money is going up, and then at some point suddenly it
Went
started
down.
crashing. We're like, what is happening, So it's a little bit tricky because also I feel like the type of manager that you also get is really important in this case. You have to get one who has a really good reputation or experience in handling people's money in such a way that they can at least ensure that they put your money in the right places, the instruments, so that they can constantly grow instead of losing all your money.
Yeah.
So it's a bit trickier.
It's the managers are chosen with which product you're choosing. Like when I get my clients, and I'm like, you tell me, we do the risiko score analysis that is always there. I know the risiko score analysis. You tell me how you feel. I would like to have in the middle. That means you're 3. You're saying, oh, I would like to try out. That is 5. I don't go on 6. I don't go on 7. 7 is high risk. You'll get much, but I'll not do that.
It's too high risk. Yeah.
It's too much high risk. So some will say, I would like to. If someone says 1, I say don't put an investment because that means you
don't want to risk at all.
Don't put in investment. You can do other methods. And this consulting client, as in coming along with clients, getting to know where they're standing, what's their wish, what do they want to achieve, how far they want to come, how ready they are for whatever level it is, makes it good. Like you're able to give someone something that he or she wants. That is not like the way I was in that case, where I was having every contract from the banks, and at the end of it, it was just a heavy load without me knowing how to pay back and how
because
to
another
do it.
thing, opening too many bank accounts also in Germany is not good generally for your score as well, right?
They'll ask, why do you have so much?
Yeah, so many accounts.
You can have 3 accounts.
So 3 is...
I would say, because like, if you have in one place, and you have 2, 3, it's okay. You can have 2 different accounts. You may have one at Commerz, the other one at Sparkasse, or the other one at Deutsche Bank, and the other one at Commerz. It's okay. With 3, it must be having a reason. You can't have one where the salary is going, and the other one, okay, maybe for giving out, maybe, and maybe the third one, what is it going to be for?
Okay, yeah.
So unless you're saying, I have 2 for myself, and then I have 1 for the family, as my husband and I, and then I have 1 for maybe giving out, or we have 1 for household, and 1 for savings. So there have to be some reasons.
Yeah.
Someone can look at it. But if you see someone having very different the same, like you're having current, that's why there must be some fishiness.
So it has to be like different accounts. Maybe one is current, another one is for savings, another one... Okay.
So we know, like it's seen, and they're like, okay, because we have something called Geldwäsche.
Oh yeah, money laundering.
Money laundering. That is one thing that they always look at. They have
But then
so
guys,
much.
you have to be really careful. Another thing, this is one thing, when you come to Germany, they are very, very sensitive when monitoring your
Accounts.
money, monitoring your accounts, movements in the accounts, because anything surpassing maybe a certain limit, so usually around 10,000 euros. So
Yeah, that's the highest limit. In fact.
that's usually the highest limit. But also, if maybe
Unless you're not a business, if you're a business person, that is different.
okay, yeah.
They know.
But normally it also depends, because they also look at your statements. If maybe the normal transactions per month, maybe you're bringing in around 2,000, 3,000 euro, then suddenly you're starting to get random installments in your account, like say 7,000, the next time 6,000, maybe at weird times of the month. There'll be some questions, right?
They'll call you. The bank will call you.
The bank will call you, and then automatically the bank will report to the police at some point.
They look at the issue. They monitor. Your account becomes on screen. So they monitor. And then one thing is anonymous. Like when they're coming from outside, not even anonymous, when they're coming outside
The
German,
country.
they're more focused on that. When you're having I remember when I'm dealing with foreigners, opening for them account, they ask, do you get money from outside? Yes or no? Are you sending money outside? And when yes, how much? So if your money is coming from your account directly outside, it should have been said, yes, I do send money outside.
But what if circumstances change at some point? Maybe in the beginning
that happens.
Yeah, that happens.
That happens. Because they are watchful not to support like war-torn areas. That's why if by foreigners, everyone who's not coming, like having the German residency, even those who have German residency but are having another passport, they have to be put on levels.
Oh.
There they are. So there's a risky group and there's a high risk. So
where do African countries fall?
Most of them are on the risk.
Really?
And some of them are in the high risk. I always have to remember the list, because which country are you coming from? Which passport are you having? Okay, the process is this. Which country are you coming from? Okay, the process.
Wow.
I have to ask that question many times.
Okay, so guys, this is a new piece of information that I didn't know. So when you come here in Germany and you're trying to open a bank account or any sort of financial related thing that you want to enter, there's a certain risk level that they put you already at.
There's a list of risk.
So
and
just a quick question. So meaning, if you, let's say maybe you come from a country like, I don't know, any country in Africa, and you're already at the high risk level, you're already termed as a high risk
risk
client, then suddenly maybe you have money wired to your account from outside the country.
That is very, very dangerous.
So they have to contact you and say why,
screen it.
Just simply because of the
You're
fact
coming
that
from a high risk
country. So automatically they would assume this would be money laundering.
It could be
money laundering.
And therefore they focus on that. So these classifications are very important to know. Actually, for myself, I learned everything from me.
Yeah.
Everything I've learned for the foreigners came from my own experience, in my own bank of opening, in my own.
You know what? Personally,
and then I realized it with the clients also.
Yeah, I've never really understood, because I've noticed this thing. It's happened to a lot of students that I know from Africa, not only Kenya, but also a lot from Nigeria.
Yeah.
Most people are having these cases of money. Okay, they're sent letters like, okay, you've participated in money.
Nigeria lies on high risk.
Nigeria is on high risk.
High risk.
So most of them get these letters like, oh, money laundering. And maybe somebody just got money from their sister, maybe in say Nigeria or in UK. They sent maybe 8,000 to their account. So they automatically flagged as high risk. So they have to go through this process of trying to prove out that money is legit.
Genuine. Yeah.
I didn't know this was what was happening behind the scenes.
That always happens. You only know when you're there.
So information is power. You have to know.
Yeah.
Okay, so but how do you, is there a way to solve this problem? Like,
there's some things, actually, they're laws. They're there. I remember one time getting angry because one of my clients' bank opening was taking months. They ask for that, and they're like, and I called them and I said, do you know what? I feel I can't work with you guys when you keep on
just have to go all African and then like,
I felt like I can't. I had reached more than what I could.
Yeah.
I said, who's the one dealing with the last approvement?
Yeah.
I called. I had to call. It was.
So you were trying to open an account for your client, but they kept asking for several documents.
You bring this, and it's like they own that this and that.
They take you round and round.
I'm like, but when I'm opening for a German, whether originally or not, but the paper is German, it's within automatic. 3 days. Yeah. It's done.
Yeah.
And within 1 week, the person has the paper, the letters, and all that. And I'm like, this cannot be. One good thing, I didn't realize that this getting angry could bring something. They somehow managed to make some simple. It used to be some long questionnaire, and yes, that we have not answered well. We need the details of that and this one. Nowadays, they've put another questionnaire, and at least.
So you actually helped to improve the process on the end as well.
I realized because many people would not. Most of the foreigners where they sent to, and with respect, not against the banks, but most of the foreigners are not going to be given private banks. Private banks are, let's say, Commerzbank or Deutsche Bank, or they're not on those private banks. They're on Sparkassen.
Okay, though for me I have Deutsche Bank, but I remember with our school, because our school was a private school, and I know they have this really good relations with this big companies like Mercedes-Benz,
That's
Daimler.
how you see. It's done.
So I remember they brought the Deutsche Bank guys in school for us to open an account with them.
You see, that's different.
Yeah. So.
But you come here as a foreigner, and the most they'll say no, and you have to get by Sparkasse.
Really?
With respect, I don't want to speak bad about any account.
But you know what? Let's call a spade a spade. If that is what is happening, that's what is happening.
It's really because of the conditions they have.
Yeah.
So I came to realize people don't explain to you why you can't get the account. They should even tell you, just do this and that and give you the account. They don't. So the students who come, there's some students who come and they are helped from the beginning. They have the Deutsche Bank. Then it's good. It's different. But if you come in and you want to open an account, most of the time, Sparkasse, you go the other one or the other one, and it's because it's simple. They accept everyone.
Yeah.
They know their prices. They accept you, and they know why they're accepting everyone, and they know why.
So, what are the advantages and disadvantages, if you may say, like, I mean, Sparkasse and let's say Deutsche. Okay, or rather, what kind
of private banks?
Yes, because I didn't even know there was classification of private and is Sparkasse a public bank?
It's the I'll say regional banks.
Okay, regional. Okay.
They are like here Berlin. Sparkasse Berlin is for Berlin.
Yeah.
And then Sparkasse Hamburg is for Hamburg.
Okay.
But in all the Sparkassen, they're all called Sparkassen. It's organization Sparkassen. But there are 3 types of.
But why is it that Sparkasse? Okay, so can we say like Sparkasse is kind of like Equity Bank?
I could say that. I don't know.
I don't know. Do you know about Equity Bank? Equity Bank has this reputation of being the bank for the people. Like it can access people of all nature, low income earners. Everybody is welcome to the bank, and they have really good rates, like really low rates, which can be affordable to.
For credit.
Yeah, for credit.
That's the opposite now. That's where they eat.
Also, Sparkasse, their rates are.
I would say it does not matter where you are. If you're feeling comfortable at Sparkasse, it's okay. I would respect with everyone. But if you accept everyone, that you're also increasing your risks.
Yeah.
And there's somewhere you have to get compensation.
Yes. So
and that comes in different. There are monthly charges. There maybe it is on the interest rates. Maybe So everywhere where someone scatters the risk, they have to find a method on how to compensate for that.
Compensate it. Okay,
So
makes
that
sense.
with that, I would just that not everyone, I don't want to let someone say, but I like scrap. Yeah, you just get to know what you feel comfortable with. If you're feeling comfortable with the 10%, 10 euros every month for the bank of charges, then it's good.
Yeah, because I don't think Deutsche Bank charges us per month, does it?
It charges somehow, it depends on which account you're having, but it goes on quarterly or...
Oh, yeah, they do charge quarterly, it's true.
Yeah.
Quarterly or every 6 months or so.
Something like that. And it depends with which account. So on the sector of accounts, on banks, we get into the credits, we get into the investments, on the bank openings, and saving plans.
So those are the consultation that you'll do with your clients. What type of bank accounts that you can open, and then also the type of investing and credits that you can go for with these banks that you've chosen.
Yeah.
Okay, and do you only work with one bank, or do you work with several?
With which type of credit? We work with several because what I came to realize and learn, each of the cooperative partners we have has a strength somewhere. Like there's a bank which is good in housing finance. There's a bank which is good in private credits, and there's a bank which is good in investment. There's like,
but what if you want all these things? Do you open a bank account with all of them, or
no? When you
let's say you want.
We look at which one lies with the majority of your wish.
Okay.
So if you want to save and invest, I'll recommend a bank for you, which has lower charges on the investments.
Yeah, because you have all the data and the information on which banks are. Okay, it makes sense.
So that's it.
Okay.
And that's why I look at every client individually. Like your twin sister, I'll handle her different from you because there's some small interest which might be different from what you have. And when we're dealing with the bank, it's the same. I would say, okay, this is it. This is for you. Let's do it that way.
Okay, perfect. So that's about the banks. So let's talk about the insurance. Because also personally, you guys might not know, I used to sell insurance policies when we were still in back then in Kenya. So I know pitching for insurance policies is not easy because so many people usually feel like, okay, these insurance companies are scams. They only take your money, and then when it comes to claiming, they don't want to pay.
Yeah.
So people are always avoiding insurance. But there are benefits of getting insurance, especially in countries like in Germany, because they do work. They're just not there to scam. Yeah. So please take us through the kind of products that you offer with your company, and what are some of the benefits that people should know. Yeah.
So if under insurance, we have major categories. It's either life insurance because it's dealing with the person, or property insurance. So ZAK, they call it in German Sachversicherung, Lebensversicherung. So with life insurance, it does not mean it's about my long-time life. It's something to deal with you personally. That's why it's under life, a person's life. And with the other one, properties, it's to deal with anything that has to do with property. And one law in German is that it's called haften. You have to pay in case you make up some mess. There's someone who's in charge, who is responsible. People have to be responsible. People have to be taking charge. So someone has to be taking charge.
You have to be accountable for your actions. Yeah, just to quickly put something on that. I had a previous experience the other day. Actually, it was last year, around September. I was driving, and I was about to turn right on the road, and it was a two-way lane, a two-way road, meaning it's only coming and going. But then there was this truck driver. You know, Berlin drivers also can be very rough. For all those of you who are living in Berlin, you know, Berlin drivers can be very rough. So you have to be aware of what is happening. So the good thing about driving in Germany, you have to have that. Is it defensive driving or offensive? You have to be aware of other behaviors from other
mistakes of
drivers.
other people. Yeah.
So this particular truck driver just came. I was about to turn right. And instead of waiting for me to turn right, because there's very minimal space because there was another car parked, this guy just passed on the left and he broke my side mirror on the left. And so when he broke the side mirror, of course, he went and parked there and then he came back. Then he was like, oh, Entschuldigung, ich habe nicht gesehen, meaning I had not seen, excuse me. Then I said, okay, yeah, let's just call the police so that we can have it on record. Because for me, I was thinking, yeah, of course, the mistake is not on my end. The insurance is going to pay. Then what happens is the police come. Then they start speaking in German. Then the guy apparently lies that, oh, I was changing the lanes or something like that. And I didn't realize that is what was happening. So the police didn't take their time to listen to my side of the story. I thought that this guy had said the truth. That part was where I was very naive about it, yeah? So, I went and followed up with the police. I said, okay, so you've already taken the statement. Now you know everything that is happening. Then the police said, yeah, everything will be okay. We will just take this number and send it to the insurance company and then they'll sort it out. Then I said, oh, okay, so I'm here trusting the German police. Okay, so what happens is after a month, I get a Rechnung, an invoice that I have to pay 35 euro for, changing the lane and causing an accident. And I'm like, how did I cause the accident? It's this man who, he was overtaking and he was overtaking on the lane of the oncoming car. So how did I cause the accident? And then I tried to explain the issue. And I called also the lawyer. The lawyer said, you have to pay me 130. He said, how much? 120 euro.
For consultation.
So, for the consultation so that he can defend me. So are you going to pay the 120 euro or just pay the 35 euro? And then he said, if you can find a way to defend yourself and just prove to them that you did not, then go ahead. Then I said, okay, fine, let me listen to him. So I even did the drawing. I said, this is how my car was positioned. This guy came like this. Then you know what happened? They sent back a letter again saying I have to pay 95 euro. Was it 95? 95 or 75 euro.
Why?
So they had to... No, they gave me more strafe on top.
Oh.
Because of rejecting. So the reason was that there were witnesses apparently that I tried to change the lane and it's final. The decision is final. I have to pay the 75 euro on top of the 35. So in total 35. So I had to pay like 25 euro more or 40, I can't remember. And so I just had to pay and let it go. So to me, I was like, wow, I wish I had an insurance. Because I remember the lawyer called me immediately and told me, do you have an insurance? I said, what do you mean insurance? Say car insurance. Like I said, yeah, I have the normal liability. He said, no, insurance for damage. I said, no, I don't have that one. That is when I came to learn about the insurance. And because I didn't have the insurance, the option was either to pay the lawyer 120 euro or pay the 35 euro and defend myself. And I tried defending myself.
It
came back more. So this is where I always recommend to my fellow African immigrants in Germany, try as much as possible to get this kind of liability insurances. You pay really little. If you can also do it as a family, you can pay little for it, and because you never know what happens. People out here are not good at all. And also another thing, remember you're an immigrant. You might not be so fluent in the language. They will believe their own people more than they believe you. So this kind of insurance is important just for you to be on the safe side. So this kind of situation, unfortunately, I had to pay the 75 euro for it to go like that because I just didn't want more issues. But of course, I was angry about it because this man knew. He lied to the police about. The police went with whatever he said or whatever. I don't know what happened, but for some reason, the report came back that I'm the one who caused the accident. Yet the man himself came to apologize that he had not seen. So, so this is why I think it's very important for people to have insurance. So please take us through.
So that's one reason I would say it's good to have a legal insurance.
Yeah.
For the legal insurance, first, the consultation would be free for you. And then someone would guide you on how to write a letter, how to make the claim. That's all with no charge. And when it reaches that point, when it goes to the court, that's when they ask you, do you want to take it to the court? Yes. Then they might tell you, okay, then you do 100, and the rest of the charges will take off. So that's under legal. I find for myself, if you want to have, not that no one can have a voice on his own, but just to have that authentic with the legal wording voice, to have a legal insurance. Because legal insurance helps not only about, I want to go to case, no. It helps on advice. Like, I remember there was a client who came to me and they had got a big rationing,
Invoice.
It was from the phone, Vodafone. So the Vodafone they sent an invoice which she couldn't relate to, because she had an insurance. We had opened an insurance which has all the things in one. I told her, just call them. They'll guide you on everything, what to do, which words to use, how to write the letter. She did that. And from the 560, she was paying 0.
Wow.
In fact, she was even allowed to cancel the contract.
Wow.
It's just knowing how to, people will say, why do I need a legal insurance for?
By the way, guys, sorry, let me just interrupt. Guys, one thing that also you have to know when you come to Germany about these contracts. These contracts can be very tricky, because they always say they have a clause there whereby you have to inform the companies that you take up the contracts with 3 months in advance that you want to cancel. But some companies will take you like this. I remember I had a gym contract with McFit, and they just took me round and round before they finally canceled it. And also Vodafone was taking me like this. But I was advised that, if I had this kind of legal insurance, it would have been very easy for me to just immediately terminate it. So
So that's what happened. That's one form of insurance. We have liability insurance. That is I told you, in Germany, you have to take charge of what you've done. Like, someone has to be responsible. That means if you happen to spoil anyone's thing, that is going to be whether in your rented house or on the way, or even that kid at school, or things happen accidentally and you feel really sorry, but you have to pay. This form could lead you, there's a law that you can pay up to your bankruptcy. So it does not matter. If you're on the way with a bicycle, you say, I don't even have a car. I'm on the way with and this bicycle of yours causes another accident. Then maybe there's someone who has got injured and cannot go to work. That means you are accounted, you have to pay for that person's failing to work, as in, so not paid working times. And then you have to pay for other therapies or something. Such things can lead more than 10,000 euros, or even, we can even go millions. So insurance, what does the insurance help? It helps in two things. One, it looks at the legality. Are you really on the wrong? When yes, okay, then we'll pay it. And then, are you being accused? Are you trying to be forgery? Is it really true? They'll look at it according to your wordings. And that's what I tell to my clients. Everyone who has insurances through me, if they have an issue, let me know. I'll carry out the claims. And I tell the insurance companies, please contact me in case of any questions. Because I know they contact the client and the client says something wrong. It might not fit in and it might not sound authentic. So you might be meaning the truth and honest truth, but the wordings might not be matching or not come out to bring out that what you want to bring out. And that's why I am there for my clients to help them do that. So not only the third party, it's third party, half-flish they call it. That's when you spoil someone else's thing and you have to pay. And we also we've talked about the legal insurance, we have the third party, the half-flish, we have the house rat. People will tell you, oh, my house is not anything. It's okay, it can burn. It's even if it's burn, it does not matter about burning. It's when it burns, you have 3 months Kündigung You have to pay your rent 3 months before they can terminate your rental contract.
So
It's
wait, when
still-
your house burns, they
You
kick
still
out?
have to. You can go out, but you can't live here. One, the sanitation, they have to make everything new.
Yeah.
Two, you have to get somewhere to live. So the insurance is in charge to help you get somewhere to live, to begin your new life, get all the things of the house.
By the way, guys, another thing, these experiences you're having in Germany. I came across this post or information on one of these Facebook groups, and there was this lady who, unfortunately, her house got burnt down. I think it was in Munich or something like that. And people were, trying to help her. They had formed a group to try and help contribute because everything of hers in the house burned down. She was literally starting from scratch. And now she was relying on well-wishers to help contribute for her to start something,
That would have been saved with something around 10 euros.
Yeah.
10 euros, if it's like a normal thing, around there. In the package, it's always cheaper to get it in the package because at least you put in and every department of the insurance takes its part, and at the end of it, you get fully paid.
Yeah.
So, such an issue, you have to find where to sleep. You have to find where to begin from the things from the house. They're all paid by the house insurance. Where to sleep if you're having a hotel, the hotel is paid. Your meals are paid.
So the insurance does all
Does
this to
that.
cover that. Okay.
It covers also the paying of your rent in the burnt house until the 3 months are done. And then you have a new apartment. The first payment is also done. So at the end of
payment
it,
is also done.
the first payment
And
is
what about the deposit?
you when you say I don't want to live in the hotel, I've got some house, then they give you some beginning money. So it might give you 2,000. You put your deposit and you first do the first payment. So on that side they would have.
And does the burning of the house does it depend? Or the payment, or when one comes to claim, does it depend on what the cause of the fire was? Maybe if it was an accident, well and good. But if it was something that was intentional,
So there's the insurance. They usually say they categorize it also. Like if you really wanted to make a revenge and you're doing that, you'll be the one now responsible on your own.
Okay.
There's someone accidentally do that, but you're not, mutwillig. Like and you really do it extra. Nobody's going to pay for that. Yeah, that is different. So let's say, you forgot. You forgot to switch off the candle, to put off the candle. That's a mistake. People forget.
So apart from maybe let's say the worst case scenario, your house, because we are not advocating for people to have burnt houses. Of
No,
course.
there's water.
There's also water can spoil everything
There's
in your
water
house.
that can spoil. I remember my side, it happens, I was out, I was going for a seminar, and then my
The
friend...
tap was on.
Not even the tap, everything is, you can't imagine. It was the heat and the the connection from the heater to the heating system that just burst out of the blue.
So it was not even your fault.
I wasn't
the
even
house.
there. It wasn't my fault. No, I couldn't even imagine why it began and how it could have begun. But the whole sitting room and the corridor in the middle, everything, the bathroom was all full.
Oh, wow.
And you come in and I remember that time I was shortly before I went, had planned my journey to Kenya. It was 2 weeks before. And I'm like, okay, where do I begin?
So now in this particular case, when everything got flooded in your house, when the insurance was reimbursing you, in this case, do they pay? I mean, how are they going to value the things in the house?
They did ask me what got spoiled because I took photos.
Okay.
Always when there's an insurance case, take a photo.
Okay.
On your case, I would have said with the car, but he had already gone off. You would have taken a photo on that side of his car. And even, some of these people, they do that extra. You know, say these photos, in insurance photos, and like the eyes, they show us a lot. So I took photos of everything. They saw the things which are spoiled, and they asked me, They said, sorry for that, what happened? And I told them I'm on the way to Kenya. They were ready to, I really loved the way they did it. Sorry, not advocating only, that it's just because I got to feel what my clients could feel when they have that an issue. So I had to write a list of the things which had got spoiled and the amount approximate. And that's the way they would do any time. Because some of them I did have even the receipts. I do not know where they are. I had shifted some time back. So I just read approximately, and then at the end they asked me, how much time did you invest in trying to clear out the water? I said around 4 hours, 5 hours. And they put also there. So when they were paying me, they paid all the amount I had put there, plus my working time, and the whole sum helped me a big deal when I came back.
So the insurance companies here in Germany, they really do come through at some point. Okay, so apart from even maybe say burning the house and the house getting burned and flooding, some other things that could be covered also is like maybe if your window breaks in the house, maybe there's wind that is blowing, right?
That's under glass. It's house right glass. That's why I'm saying having the package is helpful, because you just throw the issue in. You do not know who's supposed to. We know how to sort it, but the other one will just throw it in, and the right department will pick it and pay it. Yeah. Like this house
insurance
still covers someone breaking into your house, theft.
Or even theft in the
house.
Theft
in the house is covered in.
Okay. And and theft in the car, or
the theft in the car is covered by the car insurance.
Oh, okay.
It's covered by the car insurance. So
so that's the go ahead.
No, so that's the house rat. That's another block of insurance that we deal with, and then the other part is also the glass. We deal with the accident insurance. Someone will say, oh, I'm insured, I'm having my health insurance, why do I need an accident insurance? It so happens like accident can lead to a mess. Most of the patients I did take care of in the intensive care were not born with disabilities. 90% of the patients I had through accident. That is, they ended up into the being taken care of through because of an accident. I remember one of my clients had, on his 50th birthday, they're doing party and they've gone the swimming pool, they've booked up, and then he dives in the water, and that's what's it. He knocked the head, and that was finished. I don't want to scare anyone. It's just, we can
never... Did he dive on the shallow end of the pool?
I think he went too far. Like the force was too much. I don't think it was a shallow end, because they don't put that thing on the shallow end. It's just an accident. It just happened. And that means from here downwards was done. Meaning?
So he was paralyzed.
Paralyzed completely. He wasn't feeling anything. Done. So accidents are everywhere. We cannot say, we can take care of ourselves so much, but accidents can also lead to great financial problems. They are so great that you can now hate being even in Germany when you realize the health insurance cannot take care of. You have, when you're under health insurance, we don't know, but most of the people don't know. Every time they always look at, is that medical? Is that nursing? That medical, that's nursing. That's medical, that's nursing. Okay. And that is how the money is separated.
But, okay. So how would you know which one is medical, which is nursing?
That's what they do. So anything that is not doing with medicine, like medicine, system getting, any other thing, I can take care.
So like mental health. But mental health, at some point, you do need medicine. Like maybe if it's...
That is different. That is medical.
That is medical, okay.
But
so example of nursing?
Nursing, it will be, now you're not able to move, someone coming to wash you.
Okay.
Medical would be someone giving you the medicine. So that's how they do. So when someone comes, like when I was doing nursing, there was a great difference. When I spent trying to talk to my client that was in the nursing, When I'm washing him, that is nursing, the medical part is really small. So the nursing is mostly even more expensive, but it's lesser paid than the medical. So many times when people end up into the accident situation, you'll have something like 200 euros being paid on the. Yeah, they're great. There's a lot. You need to change the room. Maybe you want to shift to a better place so that the person can access the places that would be covered under your accident insurance. That would modernize for you everything. That would fit everything to make your life easier. Your kid has an accident and cannot go to school, has to remain at home. Private teachers are there under health insurance. You cannot go to work because you have to take care of your kid. The insurance pays for you. There's some small services we oversee that will bring a lot of lightness in the system when they're put in. Like when you come out and you really cannot, the accident insurance also pays to top up your income, because when you're accident insured, you have insured some amount that in case of disability, this is what I'm going to get.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So now whenever you take this kind of insurances, you should also let your employer know so that they can...
No, that's not even included in them. There's an accident insurance under the employers. So anytime you've got an accident at work, on the way to work, or after work, direct on the way home, then that one employer has to know, because the employer has insured you, has an extra accident insurance for you. Many years ago, accident insurance used to be in the health insurance, but they realized it's becoming too expensive.
Yeah.
So they removed it, and they said, now, the employers including schools and kindergartens and all those, they are entitled to do that, to pay for their people and have those things done. And on the private times, the clients can do that and pay for themselves.
Yeah.
And that's how it's different.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think generally, I mean, there are different types of insurances, but in the long run, I don't think you'll ever regret, especially if, having had the experience of living in Germany, because you're a foreigner and you need to find ways of protecting yourself from unforeseen circumstances. So personally, I would definitely recommend this, because I wish I had somebody who would have just given me this piece of information from the very beginning. Some of the things, the fines that I've paid maybe here and there, that genuinely was not even my fault, I would have easily avoided them if I had this kind of insurance,
So to wrap it up, we've said very well, insurance is very important. I would say another point, looking at the policy and knowing what is insured is extra important, because when you get an insurance, you're paying 3 euros, tell me, and it's going to be 3 euros. And then it comes to an issue and they tell you, this is not covered, this is not covered, this is not covered, this is not covered. And how will you feel? Oh.
Yeah.
So everyone who's thinking of an insurance, think of what do you want covered. And if you want some advice, I usually give exactly what you want. So if you want to come and say, I don't want this insurance, it's okay. We can build the finances, but when you have something that it's all that you have built for 5, 10 years, 15 years in 1 month, then it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
So you can contact me. There's a contact link. You write in and you say which areas you are interested in, and then I'll contact you, or my assistant will contact you, and we can get an appointment and get to help you.
Yeah.
Happy to help everyone who's in need wherever they are.
Yeah, absolutely. So Edith is also my personal financial consultant here in Germany. Very, 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 very helpful in just, taking you through the process and giving you the right information that you need in this particular case. So thank you so much.
I'm happy to be here.
I know we've been planning this for quite a while, so I'm really grateful that you've been able to take your time to come through. So guys, up until next time, we'll see you soon and take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.